Brenna Peters reporting for ABM 36. After 10 years of work and $387 million, the Panama Canal is almost done being built. Builders say it will be finished within the next 2 months. The Republic of Panama has allowed the United States to use and control part of the land surrounding the Panama Canal, which is to be available to all nations and all people with no discrimination. It will be illegal to block the canal, and there shall be no war on any part of it, but the United States military will be able to police the canal in order to protect it. Now let's hear more about it from Bob.
The Panama Canal, 22 years ago. First, we go to the bottom of things and find ourselves sidetracked on the floor of the world-famous Gaillard Cut, which perhaps is more familiar to you under the name of Culebra Cut. Now we are traveling along some of the 160 miles of track that were laid down on the bottom of the canal, track that constantly had to be shifted as the shovels dug away at Mother Earth. Right at this spot in the picture, modern Grace liners float on a watery bridge that rises 45 feet from where these rails are. In the distance now, the lines of tracks are to be seen, and also one gets an idea of the width of the canal. Originally specified to be 200 feet in width at the bottom, President Roosevelt, TR that was, ordered the dimensions changed to 300 feet, costing the United States an extra $13 million, and well worth it. Local and white labor were employed in the building of the canal, the white labor being called the gold standard, the native labor the rest. Here's one of the native signalmen. The government kept one of these men, flag in hand, at every switch in Culebra Cut. It had to, for every minute and a half during the peak of activity in Culebra, a train loaded with dirt rumbled on its way to Gatun Dam and Locks. And despite that, it was almost impossible to keep enough empty cars on hand to tax the capacity of the 101 steam shovels used. We don't want to bore you with figures, but in passing we might mention that the government used over 300 locomotives and over 4,000 cars of rolling stock in this work, used to haul the dirt trains. We might add, as we wait for one of these many dirt trains, each with 21 loaded cars to pass, that the canal has experienced some 20-odd slides, all told, totaling 25 million yards of earth and covering 220 acres of cut and destroying 200 miles of track. Some of these slides came during the dry season, and they were caused by faults in the earth, breaks occasioned because of the removal of sidewalls and the cutting of the canal. In short, there was nothing to keep the sidewalls from expanding into the cut, which they promptly did. These objects are some of the 553 rock drills that were used for setting the dynamite shots. 6 million pounds of explosives a year were used in the cutting of this gigantic ditch during its 9-mile length. That would make a real Chinese New Year's party, wouldn't it? In the distance now are to be seen two famous spots. On the left is Gold Hill, and on the right, Contractor's Hill. It is said that it was from the top of Gold Hill that Balboa first saw the Pacific Ocean, but that was a long time ago, and, well, you know how people will talk. At each end of that suspension bridge, around 1910 and 12, there were a couple of sizable little communities, contractors' camps they were. But with the completion of the work, they were demolished and not a vestige remains of their presence. This looks like a desert stream in early spring, but it's really the first water ever to enter the Panama Canal proper, finding its way into it from the Chagres River. The Chagres Basin is now filled by Gatun Lake, formed by the man-made low-lying Gatun Dam at the Atlantic end of the canal. And once again we view the face of Culebra Cut, showing how it looked back there in 1912 at its highest point. They took 37 million cubic yards of dirt out of Culebra, and the cost, well, it's difficult to get actual figures, but the entire canal had an estimated cost of some $375 million.
The French wanted to build the canal, but the United States later took over the project. The United States became involved in 1904. They originally wanted to build a canal near Nicaragua, but a French engineer told them it was too dangerous because of the volcanoes there. In 1903, the Hay-Heron Treaty was signed with Colombia, granting the United States use of Panama in exchange for financial compensation. On November 18, the treaty was signed with Panama, granting the United States exclusive and permanent possession of the Panama Canal Zone. In exchange, Panama received $10 million. Later on, in 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt visited Panama to observe the building of the canal. He was the first U.S. president to leave the country during his term of office. U.S. Army Doctor William Gorgas was sent to the Panama Canal construction area, where he used remedies to help bring the diseases under control. Hello, Angelina. Thank you for talking with us today. We are in Panama talking to Angelina, who is a worker for the Panama Canal. She is going to tell us a little bit about what work is like here. Angelina, what is it like to work on such a big project, the Panama Canal?
It's hard time, and other times I enjoy what I do. It's hard because there are a lot of people dying of disease, like smallpox, typhoid, hookworm, and even bubonic plague. So far, more than 25,000 workers have died. A week ago, I lost one of my friends. He drowned. I still can't believe that happened. We have a lot of trouble here, including changing terrain, the hot weather, heavy rainfall, and of course, disease.
So this project has been going on for 10 years now. Have you been involved in the construction the whole time?
No, I started working on the canal 3 years ago, so I haven't been working the whole time.
Who is here in Panama with you?
My family is here with me. They live in a small houses. Every family gets one. In 1906, 2,500 structures were built, including two-story family homes that had verandas, more plumbing, and electricity. We also have a new cold storage until to keep food fresh.
Do you think that the 10 years of work and $387 million put into this project were worth it?
Yes, the canal will help many people and make traveling take much less time.
What is the worst job to do on the Panama Canal?
The worst job is dynamiting. The job was usually given the West Indians. The greatest danger is the material's instability. It could blow up at any moment, and so many lives will be taken. The worst accident to occur that I know of happened during the canal's construction. It was caused by early explosion of the dynamite on December 12, 1908. It caused by the death of 23 workers and injuring 40 others. I hope something like that never happens again.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching ABM 36. Have a good night.